Welcome to the Balls Talk Sports NFL podcast. There is one game left this season, and it just so happens to be the biggest game of the year. So we are giving Super Bowl 60 the full runtime in today's episode.
Yep, one full episode. Is this the first time we've only talked about one game in a single episode? It seems like we've always got something else going on.
Well, we were going to have something else going on,
That's true.
and then we got punched in the face by life, and we had to push some of that work back. We are still bringing you Senior Bowl content, but, maybe a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, but today's the Super Bowl. We get to focus all on the biggest game of the season. It is the Seattle Seahawks. It is the New England Patriots. 11 years ago, they played in the Super Bowl. I think we all remember how that one turned out. And I think the Seahawks are not hoping for a repeat of that. Well, the Patriots would be very thankful if they could. Patriots, they have 6 Super Bowls in franchise history. That is tied for most with the Pittsburgh Steelers. With a win on Sunday, they become the most Super Bowl. They have the most Super Bowls of any team in NFL history. Meanwhile, Seattle, that win against my Broncos 12 years ago, is their only Super Bowl to date. They're fighting.
And I just want to say, I am not jealous of the Patriots' multi-generational success as a football franchise. I'm not jealous at all.
No, I mean, I'm not, because the Broncos own Tom Brady. So it's just not really as much of an issue for me because, yeah, you're doing all these great things, but just remember, we own you. The Broncos own you. We're one of 2 teams that can say that. Niners as well.
All right, Victor, you know what time it is. Are we ready to get kinky?
Let's get kinky for the final time in the 2025 to 2026 regular season.
All right, so as you mentioned it, we got the Seattle Seahawks, we got the New England Patriots. Seattle favored by 4.5 in Santa Clara, California. And I'm just going to go right out and say it. I am going to pick the Seahawks here. Maybe not by as wide of a margin as some analysts, but this is the big game. You got to look at the overall roster talent. I certainly think that Seattle has an advantage. These are 2 really well-coached teams. These are 2 teams that are going to play hard. They're going to play cohesive. They're going to do nothing but hustle. Both of these teams are ready to win the Super Bowl. I don't think this is going to be a game fundamentally of mistakes, and I think that works to the Seahawks' favor. They are better. They have the better football players, and what they have to do is they have to stick to the script that has won them games all season. They got to put big bodies on the field in early downs. They got to run the ball. You don't have Zach Charbonnet now, but look, Kenneth Walker, last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, he answered the call. Kenneth Walker is a fantastic running back. He's not perfect, but he's explosive. He is powerful. He has an extremely deep bag of moves to go to. Just the other day, I watched a video it was an interview with the Seahawks outside linebackers coach, and he discussed positional scouting and how when they're scouting other teams, they look at the ball carriers and they say, what are your go-to moves? What do you do when there are 2 guys boxing you in the alley? What do you do when you have one-on-ones in space? And the players you fear the most, they are the most dynamic ball carriers, the guys that can win with contact balance and absorbing hits, the guys that can go to a stiff arm, the guys that can go to a foot fire and make you miss in space. And the guy he brought up was Christian McCaffrey being the best in the league at doing that. But Kenneth Walker is one of those players, too. You give him the ball on early downs, and he will get you a baseline of explosive runs. Even if it's getting plugged up early, you got to put faith in that. You got to keep pounding the rock because that is how you set up under center play action. And I think that is the Seattle Seahawks' key to victory. They want to keep the offense on the field. They want to make this a shorter game, and they just want to go out there and do their thing, even if they face early resistance, because this is a tough Patriots defense. It's not going to be made easy for them. Stick to the script, know that you are the better roster, and just get the job done.
I absolutely agree. I think this game is going to come down to the trenches, Seattle's offensive line versus the Patriots' defensive line. You did a great breakdown of what Seattle needs to win that battle. I think what the Patriots need is they need domination there. I think a key stat, Brett Coleman pointed this out a couple of days ago. I thought it was fantastic. Seattle, for all of their offensive success this year and how good Sam Darnold has looked, on 3rd and long, which is 3rd and 7+, they've been 31st in the league at conversion rate. They just do not do well when they are behind the sticks. The Patriots, you want to guess what their conversion rate allowed is on 3rd and 7+?
Is it first?
It's first in the league.
Wow, okay.
So that is an incredibly favorable matchup. You've got an incredibly disciplined defense led by Mike Vrabel and Zach Kerr. These guys just don't really allow too many big plays, and when they do, it's not on 3rd downs. They're not that back-breaking kind of defense. They know how to keep it in front of them and make it hurt less. They're going to make you dink and dunk. They're going to make you earn the win and earn it through the air. That is, unless you can run on them. It's no secret that the Patriots have a good defense, but not a great defense. It's not like they're this all-world run-stopping defense. But that is what they need to be on Sunday if they want to win. Because if, like you said, if the Seahawks can stay ahead of the chains with Kenneth Walker, let him get those plays, let him get a couple of big plays, then Darnold can live in play action. He's not going to be under pressure much. He's going to have his time to throw. But in 3rd and 9, where you know it's pass protection, you know that if they're throwing the football, Kayvon Chason, Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, these guys who have just been incredible all season and throughout the playoffs are going to go out there and they're going to make their money. They're going to do what they did last week. That's how they won that game. Just elite penetration against one of the best NFL offensive lines in the league in Denver. The Patriots' defensive line honestly just destroyed them in the trenches in both the run game and the pass game, and they were just making play after play. If they can do that, then they can get Sam Darnold to make these plays. They force him to be the one to win the game, and I think that's how they are going to try to win this game. Is if we lose to Sam Darnold, we're okay with that, but we're not losing to Kenneth Walker. We're not losing to these great designs by Clint Kubiak. We're not losing to any of that. We're going to force you to beat us through the air, because if you do, we've got a couple of guys back there that we really like. We got Christian Gonzalez. We got Carlton Davis. I think that's the key for New England. Keep them behind the chains. Keep them disruptive. I think Milton Williams is going to have to have a massive game in both run defense and pass rushing. Kayvon Chason's going to have a big game. Robert Spillane, the linebackers for New England, in terms of tackling Kenneth Walker, that is the priority number one. You have to tackle the guys in front of you. Patriots have been good at that all year. Can they live up to the challenge of a great Seattle offense with a great play caller?
I absolutely agree. That is a fantastic 3rd down statistic. However, it's not just that they're really, really good at keeping things in front of them, which they absolutely are. This is one of the top 5 rallying to the ball and tackling teams in the NFL. I love the missed tackle rate statistic. However, sometimes it doesn't really do full team units justice. Like the Houston Texans, by missed tackle percentage, not a particularly exceptional team, but the reason you don't feel that when we watch the Houston Texans this last season is because everybody is flying to the ball and they are hitting and they are punching and they are ripping the cord and getting the ball out. That is what the Patriots do as well. And it's pre-snap as well. I think this is a team that communicates really well. They pass off pre-snap motion really well. Craig Woodson, absolute stud. Look, beginning of the year, he was perfectly fine. It is incredibly impressive to come out of the University of California and just, in a rookie year, be a really decent starting safety.
I wonder who said that Craig Woodson was going to do that year one?
Well, folks, you should go back and watch our, what do we officially call that episode?
The My Guys episode last year.
Watch the My Guys episode. There were some really solid takes to be had there. Craig Woodson was one of them. He was solid at the beginning of the season. He has just steadily improved. It feels like the ability to play aggressive out of zone coverage, it's come along. He's gotten more confident. We saw a similar thing with Malachi Starks. That is a big difference maker for a safety, but he's also just been a super reliable tackler. Huge part of keeping stuff in front. It's not just that, though. This team will put you in hell on 3rd down. I mean, that is one of Mike Vrabel's identities as a defensive mind, is that we are going to crowd the line and we are going to bring obscure blitz looks, and it is going to mess with your protections. And we have seen that be a big factor all throughout the playoffs. Seattle's offensive line, it's overperformed this year based on preseason expectations. I think the interior guys, Jake Sundell, who else is in there? It's not Oluwatimi anymore. Zabel's been solid. He's only gotten better. Who's their 3rd piece? Got it written down here somewhere.
Sundell, Zabel, and shit.
You
would think we would know this.
You would think so. We promise, folks, we're not stupid. Anthony Bradford.
Okay, well, there's a reason we forgot him.
Fair enough. Those guys have played steady, but they have been far from world beaters. And you look at this Patriots interior defensive line, they have been lights out, and they got just bodies for every skill set. You mentioned Milton Williams. He has come on all the way as just this destructive pass rushing force that they paid him to be. Kyrus Tonga, that was a free agent signing that you really liked. He has been a fantastic space-eating nose tackle. And fullback, somehow.
Yeah.
And
if you can do it, go ahead.
Absolutely. They have great pieces all over this defensive interior. Even like Corey Durden, who is a player who I think I had heard of before, but, mentally he was just this random rotational defensive lineman to me. he's caught my eye on the tape over the postseason, over the last few weeks. The regular season, went in, looked at his game. Great mover for his size. He's got a swim move. He's got a club move. Everybody on this defensive line is playing up, and that provides a lot of opportunity against Seattle, especially, like you mentioned, on those 3rd and longs, because you get Sam Darnold under pressure. Look, I know it's kind of a trope that he's not good under pressure, but the numbers have continued to bear that out this season. And I absolutely think that that is the Patriots' script to winning this game. However, I'm not super optimistic about the Patriots' offense either in this one.
Yeah, and just one more thing on the defense is, Mike Vrabel coaches these guys up incredibly well. That defensive line is always going to be coming after him. And while Seattle's offensive line has played steady, their biggest thing has been, sometimes will be good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And New England I think if I'd characterize their defensive line, one way how they win is explosive pass rushes, if you know what I mean. They get quick wins and just blow up plays that often lead to turnovers like we saw last week against the Broncos. That could be something where they really win. Milton Williams gets a couple of quick wins. K'Lavon Chaisson gets a couple of speed rushes, and the game is changed. Sam Darnold turns the ball over a couple times. Turnover battle has to be won by New England if they want a shot at this game. Offensively, it doesn't look great for their offense, honestly, because the reason we've put so much of an emphasis, I think, on New England and how important it is they have the defensive performance of their life on Sunday is because we know that they're going to have to carry an offense that isn't going to be very productive. They're playing the number 1 defense in the league by most metrics. I think run defense, run EPA per rush. I think their overall EPA per play is number 1 as well, and EPA per pass, I'm sure it's not very far behind. You got the deepest room of overall defense. Like, you can just
everything.
Yeah, everything. Just throw whoever you want out there, and they can all just do the job. You know what I mean? The Patriots last week, we saw them kind of just get shut down by the Broncos. And you'll say, all right, well, Victor, it was a snow game. Of course they're going to get shut down. The first half was not a snow game. It was not great weather, but it was decent weather. You could absolutely throw the ball. You could run your offense, and the Patriots just couldn't do anything. They could not move the ball at all, and some people wanted to put that on Drake May. Sure, he wasn't great, but when you watch the All-22, there's just nobody open down the field. Diggs, Booty, Henry, all of them just consistently covered. Obviously Surtain had a great game. The Broncos safeties played incredibly well. The Broncos secondary was tremendous. And you can say, okay, well, that's not replicable, except it is, because Seattle's defense is also incredible. Seattle's got an elite secondary. You've got that guy who can shut down a side of the field in Devin Witherspoon. I truly believe he's that kind of guy. Not a Patrick Surtain, but close enough to it where the rest of that defensive talent can get a little bit off of their plate. You've got Eman Ward to come in and wreck things on the blitz. You've got Kobe Bryant and Julian Love as your safeties. They're not going to let anything over. And the reason that Denver was able to lock down New England so well last week and not allow them to pass at all was because New England just could not beat Denver up front. They couldn't win it in the trenches. We said it in the conference championship previews that if New England wanted to win this game, they would need to win the trenches. They would need to be able to run the football, or else they would get shut down in the pass. We did not foresee the snow game. That was our fault. I think if there wasn't a snow game, New England might have lost just because they could not have moved the ball worse to begin the game. And Denver's run defense, they're not great. They're fine. They're good, but they're not great. Seattle's run defense is elite. They will absolutely be able to shut down the Patriots' run game with just their 4 guys up front: Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, D-Law, Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, Uchenna Nwosu, whoever you want to put out there. They're all going to be able to stop the run. So the Patriots are going to be forced into a similar situation where Drake May is going to have to throw the ball to guys who aren't getting open: Hunter Henry, Booty, Diggs. If one of those guys has to be able to get open, and I don't see an avenue where they really do unless they just rise a whole lot better than they did last week. Mike McDonald is going to confuse the hell out of Drake May. So even if they do get open, who knows if he'll even find them. May has a really, really bad habit of not tucking the ball and taking the sack when he needs to. That could lead to a forced fumble or two. He has had not great luck with keeping control of the ball. He's made a couple of dicey passes. That Seahawks defense is full of ball hawks. They are going to make him pay. I am just overall incredibly concerned about the Patriots offense, that even if the defense holds them to 13, Patriots offense might not be able to get enough to even take it to overtime.
I think you said it great. The reason that I really feel bearish about New England's offense is that the issue is holistic. It's not a situation where, okay, we've got one thing that's really holding us back and we can game plan around it. Maybe we're going in with a favorable matchup and we can drop 40. No, the issue with the Patriots is just that they don't really do anything all that well. This, like you mentioned, is not a team that's probably even above average in the trenches, run blocking or pass pro. Their guys don't get open. I think the schematics are solid. Josh McDaniels,
I
right?
think he's done a great job.
He won Assistant Coach of the Year.
He did.
Didn't he?
Congrats to him, yeah.
I feel like that's a Balls Talk Sports Awards win.
There he goes.
Some other people see that. He's done a great job scheming guys open. However, we've seen times, especially in the postseason against really good secondaries, where that just hasn't been enough. And now what's really hurt the Patriots is a lower rate of converting those really tough catches. You might still get one really nice ball a game from Kayshon Boutte, from Stephon Diggs, but it just hasn't been consistent. We saw some drops against Denver, and it wasn't just drops in the snow. It was drops early on, and not just the drops. It was the tough catches outside the frame that these guys that have been making them all year just aren't converting. I mean, it was a lot of pass catchers punching above their weight class when the Patriots were performing really, really well offensively, and we've seen that regress a little bit. And then finally, you got to talk about Drake May. You still see all the talent in the world.
Absolutely.
You see the escapability. You see the instincts out of structure. You see the ability to play within structure and accurately throw that dig route and lead receivers over the middle of the field and throw electric deep balls. I mean, Drake May had a fantastic deep ball in that game that Pat Surtain just got his head around, got a hand up, took it away. That's a big-time throw that Pat Surtain just wiped off the board. You still see that. However, the accuracy, it has really regressed. He looks like he's playing a little uncomfortable out there. It's uncharacteristic misses. It's not just the ball is slipping out of the hand and it's sailing out of bounds. That's kind of forgivable. Like,
it's not just the snow.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just spraying the ball around. It's the placement not being consistent. The flashes are there. The consistency has not been. Drake May has played 7 top-half defenses this season by EPA per play allowed against the pass. In those games, he's had 10 big-time throws, 11 turnover-worthy plays, and 35 sacks.
Jeez.
5 sacks a game.
That's wild.
And now you're going up against Seattle. I think it's going to be tough sledding the whole way. You look at these, really the two things the Patriots want to do. I think they want to come out heavy on early downs, like Seattle, but a little different than Seattle. They'll run a lot more offset eye and 6 offensive linemen and just try and punch you in the face early on and keep you honest so that they can dime you up down the field. Seattle's been great at loading up the box and taking that away. And then when that doesn't work, because I don't think that's going to consistently work down to down for them, they like to go into more of a spread, straight shotgun style. Maybe you have 3-4 receivers on one side of the formation. That way you can, use picks and rubs and drop some separation. Like you mentioned, Seattle has a secondary full of ball hawks, full of guys that are great at fighting through picks and rubs and rallying to the football. And that's not even mentioning the pass rush that has forced the Patriots to get the ball out quick throughout this postseason. Seattle rallies. They take the ball away. They gang up and they tackle you. Patriots are going to be behind the sticks. This is just going to be a tough matchup.
I agree. I mean, I think the Patriots defense gives a valiant performance. I think that this is a somewhat low-scoring Super Bowl. I just don't really think the Patriots have it in them to compete with the Seattle defense. This is a one-of-a-kind unit. This is a team that this is a defense wins championships team through and through. I mean, this defense has carried them here. Not that the offense has been bad, but they're not here without this elite defense. This is maybe the best unit on either side of the ball in the entire league. It's been incredible this year, and I think they just make it. They make it a point. I think this is probably. I'm going to pick Seattle 20-13 to win this game. I think the Patriots get a couple ones. Drake May is good for at least one explosive play. He'll be able to use his legs. That's how he killed Denver last week. His legs were a massive value adder, and I think he'll still be able to get some of that. It's not like Seattle's linebackers are elite or anything. I like Ernest Jones just as much as the next guy, but May's a tough guy to bring down. I think that this is going to be a somewhat close game throughout it, but it's going to be one of those close games where it just always feels like Seattle has control. They have control of the ball more than New England does. We see a lot of 3-and-outs on New England's side. I think we see at least one turnover, probably 2 from Drake May, whether it's a strip sack or an interception. I think we see a couple of those. They're not going to win the turnover battle. I think that's a must, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think Seattle is going to be able to stay ahead of the chains just enough. I really believe the Patriots defense is going to give them a run for their money. They're going to make it tough, but I'm taking Seattle 20-13. Congrats to the Seahawks. You get your get back in Super Bowl 48 or from Super Bowl 49. And I'm going to predict Kenneth Walker breaks a couple of touchdowns, gets one long one, racks up at least 100 yards, and runs his way to Super Bowl MVP.
Hey, I concur with the sentiment. I have Seahawks 24-14, but Patriots fans, if you need some random bullshit to go your way in this one, look no further than the special teams.
There you go. Anything can happen in special teams.
Especially when you got Marcus Jones, who is arguably the best punt returner in the league. He's taken 2 back to the house this season.
Absolutely.
You got Brendan Schooler, Brendan Schooler is already an elite special teamer. He was great throughout the season. He has somehow kicked it up an extra gear in the postseason. He already has 6 tackles in the playoffs. That might not sound like a lot of tackles, but that is a lot of special teams-specific tackles. So, you could get a blocked kick somewhere in there. However, Seattle, also an excellent special teams. Excellent kicking unit, snapping, kicking, blocking, excellent punting unit, directional soundness, all of that stuff. And you've got Rashid Shaheed. This is going to be a special team showdown. And look, gun to my head, I have to pick one of these units. I think I'm taking Seattle on special teams too.
Yeah, but anything can happen, man. And you know what? There's always some bullshit in the Super Bowl. It's possible.
Of course it is.
Seattle could be at the 1-yard line.
And they need to go there.
No, you're right. But Patriots fans, you got to remember what happened. You remember. I don't want to give y'all any hope because I don't particularly like you, but everybody said it was going to be a close game in Super Bowl 48. It wasn't. Everybody said it was going to be. Everybody said Seattle was going to win Super Bowl 49. They didn't. So it's possible. It's possible for y'all to pull this one out. You got Drake May, and he can turn it on. I believe in that. And you got a great defense. I think a matchup to watch for you. If you want somebody to make the takeaways, it's gonna be the matchup: the Emerald City Route Artist versus the Foxborough Locksmith. Jackson Smith and Jigba versus Christian Gonzalez.
That is fantastic.
Have you heard all of that?
No, I assumed you made that up on the spot.
No, I didn't. Do you know who Bladen Kirk is on the Stay Hot podcast?
No.
Anyway, he goes up to JSN at the Super Bowl media. For some reason, he has a pass. And then he's like, JSN, do you have a nickname? And he's like, nah. And then he's like, can I suggest one? He's like, the Emerald City Route Artist. And then JSN's like, oh, yeah, I like that.
Good for JSN.
Yeah.
Good sportsmanship.
It's tough. It kind of looks like when you're at a kid's birthday party and he just wants to do whatever he wants to do. You're like, yeah, let's go along with it. No hate to the Stay Hot podcast. I love their stuff, but Bladen, that was a horrible name. But everybody on the internet's using it now. So
honestly, I kind of love it. I love it.
There we go. The JTECRASN. And then somebody called Christian Gonzalez the Foxborough Locksmith. So we got a heck of a matchup there.
But how is he the locksmith? Wouldn't like the wideout be the locksmith unlocking the cornerback?
Well, no, but the locksmith makes the lock.
That's true. That's
true. He's making the lockdown,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could call his parents the Foxborough Locksmith. Yeah, he is the lock. And they did. So who knows? But there's going to be a lot of. It's Super Bowl weekend, even though I don't think that this is going to be the best Super Bowl of all time. I think it'll be fun to watch at the very least. 2 good teams. And the Patriots, if it does play out how we expect it to, there should be no heads held low. There should be a lot of heads held high in Foxborough. I mean,
of course,
you were 4-13 last year. Absolutely nothing looking up, and now you're in the Super Bowl. Even if I think that they probably wouldn't have won if Bo Nix was healthy last week, he wasn't, and they did, and they still might have won even if Bo Nix was healthy. So great season for you all, and it's not over. But if it does come...
It is not at all over. Like, I want to make it clear that my take is that New England could absolutely win this game. I do just think Seattle has a commanding advantage, so I wouldn't really think of picking the Patriots. I do think they're going to be in it.
They'll absolutely have a chance, but if you do lose, nothing bad to say about the season. Seattle, if you do lose, that is disappointing because like this feels like your year. If you don't win it this year, I struggle to think that you want to win it. This one, you want to win this one. Obviously, it's a Super Bowl; it's a must-win game. But this might be your only shot, Seattle. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This might be your only shot. Hopefully, I'm honestly rooting for Seattle because fuck the Patriots. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, Patriots fans.
I know that we have done the game preview part now, but I'm interested in why you think this might be Seattle's only shot.
I don't think you're getting the same performance out of the offense next year. You know, I don't believe Sam Darnold's really a 5 to 10 year long-term guy that you can really rely on. I think he's probably going to be out when his contract's up.
And they lost Kubiak. That is something I did not think of initially. That is big.
So you're losing Kubiak, the guy who a lot of people believe is the reason behind why this offense is so well functioning, why the offensive line took so many steps up because he's shielding them. You've got a quarterback who's not very reliable, who seems to do really well in certain systems. So if you bring in a guy who doesn't mesh with that system, then that can really fuck things up. They have a good chance. They have a real chance to go back, obviously, if Mike McDonald nails the hire. Have they hired anybody? I don't think so.
I didn't hear that they have. I don't believe so.
If he nails the hire. But it's going to be a tough thing to do. It's hard to find a great offensive mind. And I'm not saying it is going to be your only shot. I'm just saying I'm not confident Seattle's ever going to be back to the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold at the helm. And if it's not Sam Darnold, it's going to be a while before you're back. And it's not going to be with this same team. I do think Mike McDonald's back in the Super Bowl as a head coach one day. It just may not be for a few years. So hopeful. I'm rooting for Seattle to win this. I know I'm still a little bit salty over Super Bowl 48, but I can forgive y'all. That was a great team. And the Patriots, I'll never stop hating the Patriots. So Seattle, though, defense I don't think regresses at all, but I'm worried about the offense next year.
Yeah, that's a good point. They definitely have some longer-term infrastructural issues on the offensive side of the ball. I definitely do think that the culture, it feels like Mike McDonald has brought with them. And then this defense that just has a unique ability to kind of grab anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that the Seahawks defense is just a bunch of guys out there, obviously. They're not the 49ers defense. However, a big aspect of the McDonald defense is that, you know, you can take the 5th best defensive roster in the NFL and make them the best defensive roster.
100%.
I'd love that long term. I think that that's one of the most valuable assets that you can have. And then on the other side, for the Patriots, like, this team isn't going anywhere. They've shown the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
They've shown the coaching. They have shown the front office capabilities. I mean, we loved what they did in the offseason, and somehow they've really overperformed that high mark that we gave them. So both these teams got a lot to look forward to moving forward. But right now, you're only focused on one thing, Super Bowl 60.
Yeah, and I think this is probably the worst team the Patriots field until Mays a couple of years into his big contract because there's nowhere to go but up. But good luck to both of the Super Bowl teams. It's going to be a heck of a game. Hope you all enjoyed watching this Super Bowl preview episode. Hope you all enjoy watching the Super Bowl. And make sure to tune in because I'm pretty sure the Senior Bowl episode will be coming in a couple of days, depending on it.
It is crazy to think that we made it through the entirety of the 2025-26 NFL season, and without this podcast, whole thing would have gone completely off the rails.
Absolutely. We were the only thing holding this season together. You were wondering why it's been so good? Us, because this was our first full season.
You're welcome, folks. Victor, anything to say before we get out of here?
I got nothing else.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, stay hard.